You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
And good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us on this December the 10th, 2024. Yes, it'll be the last December 10th before the new year of 2025. It's almost here. Christmas is almost here. The new year is almost here. I can't believe how fast time flies. Not even when you're having fun. It just flies no matter what. When you start aging, I guess, as we all are, time just seems to continue to go faster and faster. I'm not sure the science of it, but I know anyone I speak to seems to have the same perspective on that. And so welcome to the show. It's going to be a great one today. And we're going to be covering all the local stories here in Sudbury. We're going to maybe do a deep dive today. Brian was nice enough to send me the official link for the official tax break, the tax holiday, the GST. So we'll have some more on that, and maybe he'll even share the link to the official government page so you can see exactly which items you'll be able to shop for that will have no GST between December 14th and February 15th of this year and next year, which will create a hectic time during tax time for bookkeepers and for the CRA and for people expecting their tax return. If you are one of those people expecting it, expect delays on top of the Canada Post strike that might even still be continuing during tax time. We haven't heard any good news from that camp at all in recent days. So we are live on CKLU 96.7 FM, CKLU.ca, streaming on the internet. Click on the Radio Player Canada app. You can download us. By downloading the Radio Player Canada app, you can take us with you and listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. We're also, while you're there at CKLU.ca, make sure to check out the merch. Whatever you purchase goes towards helping the station, keep the lights on, keep the airwaves open. If you already have the merch or you don't really need any of what we offer, although you'd probably look cool in a CKLU shirt, I have to admit that. But if you already have one or you don't need it, you can just simply click on the donate button, and whatever you're able to donate is much appreciated. We run on your support, basically. And if it is something that you feel is important in your community, please support. And thank you for those who do support. And thanks for those who did support and will support in the future. We're grateful for your contributions at this time of year. It's probably hard for a lot of people, as giving seems to be what we're doing a lot of. And but we're also receiving as well, a lot of us. And so with that, we're grateful for anything you're able to do to help the station. It is your station. Been around since 1984. Started out in a humble trailer on Laurentian University's campus on Ramsey Lake Road, now corner of Elgin and Elm Street, in the old Telegraph building, now part of the School of Architecture. Grateful to be here. Thankful that we were able to survive all these years, and hope that we'll continue to do the same in the future. Now, this show is also streaming live at facebook.com/cybernews, youtube.com/cybernews, as usual, between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m. weekday mornings. And I have to say I have a little bit more energy today than I did yesterday. I'm not sure why. I didn't get as much sleep, but I was felt a little drained yesterday. And so I apologize for that, for anybody who is watching or listening. We're keeping our eye on the streaming of Facebook freezing. It's to do with the upload speeds, and if we have to, we'll increase them with the plan of where I'm at here in the studio, and we'll do what we can. But we're also streaming live, facebook.com/cybernews, youtube.com/cybernews. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the platforms, the page and the channel, and mainly comment, because we'll do our best to get your comments up on the screen for those watching, read for those listening. And as the show continues, we may not be able to read all the comments, but I'll definitely get them up on the screen, and you can watch the show on demand afterwards on those two platforms, along with twitter.com/cybernews, now X, and Sudbury.news, which is our news aggregator. So welcome, everyone. Hopefully you're going to enjoy the show. I know I do. I enjoy time with you each and every morning, and we'll dive right in with some weather. It's interesting these days, all the weather. So let's just kick it off with that. We'll be back with news headlines, your comments, and more right after this. And Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently it's 1 degree out there, and it's cloudy, mostly cloudy. And today it'll continue to be cloudy with a 40% chance of drizzle. Yeah, fog patches dissipating early this morning, and the high will be +2. So +2 with freezing drizzle. And this time of year, you just never know what to expect. Tonight it'll be cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries and risk of freezing drizzle. Fog patches dissipating after midnight. So we'll have some fog this evening as well. And the low will be -6 overnight, but it'll feel like -12 with the wind chill. Wednesday, cloudy, 60% chance of drizzle. 60% chance of flurries. Risk of freezing drizzle early in the morning. And the temperature will be falling to -9 in the afternoon. Wind chill near -15. So a little warm spell, if you can call it that, today, where it's +2, but it'll be then going, the mercury will be dipping, and it will then get cold again. So high of -7 for tomorrow, 60% chance of flurries. And then Thursday, 30% chance of flurries with a high of -11. Friday is no longer purely sunny, according to this forecast, but it will be a mix of sun and cloud, apparently. High of -9. The Saturday and Sunday, -4, -1. Cloudy, little chance of flurries on Sunday, and then Monday, 40% chance of flurries or showers, rain showers, high of +3. So again, this temperature is going to the double digits, minus double digits, but then up to the single plus digits in and around there as we, look forward to summer already. I've had enough, and it's already just started. Okay, December 10th, 4:30 a.m. This was your satellite, just a bunch of clouds everywhere. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back with your news, local news, headlines, a little deep dive into the GST holiday and what it means. Will it make your life so much better this holiday season and beyond? And your comments and more right after this. We'll be back. Okay, thanks for sticking around, everyone. And looks like we have quite a few people joining us this morning. Nana's first to YouTube this morning. Good morning. And blessings to all. Blessings to you, Nana and Judy on Facebook. Good morning. And Marianne as well. Good morning, everyone from Barrie, liked and shared as usual. And Liette, good morning. Good smiley emoji morning. Love it. It looks great right there in the middle of good morning. So thanks, and hope you're having a good morning, Liette. And good morning, everyone. Peace sign and smiley emoji, looks like, from here, because my eyesight, or it's just 2 sunshine emojis. Look at that. And that's from Victoria. Good morning, Victoria. And Belinda, good morning. Everything in your life is a reflection of a choice you have made. If you want a different result, make a different choice. Now, that sounds too simple, and it sounds very right wing. What if you make a wrong choice? Can't you have a good result? Like, are you going to judge me because I made a wrong choice? Shouldn't you embrace and love your wrong choices? Like, that's just what it seems like our society is today. Just embrace your wrong choices. And if other people don't like them, we'll mandate them to, and we'll throw them in jail if they don't celebrate our wrong choices. You know? Because that's just the way our society needs to be. So something as refreshing as your comment there is profound these days, although I thought it was just common sense through my whole life. Everything in life is a reflection of a choice you've made. If you want a different result, make a different choice. So I will continue to embrace that particular slogan, if you will, and live my life according to that, because I found that is a true fact in my life. If something's not going well, even my morning routine, I thought, I'm coming on a little late every morning, and I was a little late today, although I didn't have to be because I'm switching up my routine and it's a little more effective. I can get on time, but it was just my own doing again, but it was a choice I made that resulted in that. It wasn't anything else. I can't blame anyone else or anything else. Choices, we have to really look at what choices are we making and what results are they getting, and are they serving us the best they possibly can? And if they're not, it's very easy to change what you're doing, make a choice, make a decision to change, and you will have a different result if you do a different thing. It's simple, right? Think about it. Think about that concept. If you do something differently, you will have a different result. That's that simple. Now, it may not be even a better result if you change it. It might be a worse one, but doing something differently will give you a different result. And where is this type of logic in our society these days? I don't know. I think we've lost the simplicity of common sense. I'm 65, a nurse. We never stop. 60. No, I know. And that's Lucy. Smiley emoji. And good morning, Lucy, and grateful for your profession. And thanks for all that you do for us. We have some news about the medical system this morning. 2 stories from Sudbury. And I believe it was Belinda who sent me one of them, but it went right along with one of the headlines that we have this morning as well. So we'll be sharing some of that. Not so great news from our medical industry right here in Greater Sudbury, but news nonetheless. Now, Marianne, hoping to stay online. Internet problems are awful. Good thing those towers help us with the service. Yeah, exactly. And Monique, good morning, Sudbury, with a smiley emoji. Good morning, Monique. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a good morning. Period. Good day, and good day to you as well. Thanks for being on. And Brian, good morning. Sudbury Patriots. Marianne says they have changed the algorithms. I can't reply to anyone on any post. Well, that's great. I mean, what's social media for? I thought it was, I guess it's not for having conversations with people. It must be for another reason, right? And Denise, good morning on YouTube. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you as well. And thanks for sharing that link that we'll be referring to a little bit later, just so people can know exactly what it is that they're going to get a GST break on this holiday season, which is going to be a nightmare for small businesses. And Liette, good morning to you from Collingwood. I thought you had already Come on, was that someone else and I thought it was you? Just going back here. Yeah, that was Lucy. Yes. I thought it was Liette for some reason, but that's because my eyes aren't the greatest, but yes. And Louise, good morning to you and all viewers. It's Louise. Thanks for being on. Great to see you here. And Pierrette says, can we come by? There we go. Liette, Marianne, I'm having wonky issues as well. So that's interesting. And you're on two totally different internet providers, I would think. So that's interesting. Denise Cesis finally gave Pierre the information on the terrorists in office. Yeah, so that's interesting. Does that mean he's not able to talk about it afterwards? Like he said he was worried about that whole thing, like with you have foreign interference in our government and the opposition or whatever, the Liberals and NDP and everyone else was on his back for not being briefed. And that was, he said, because after he's briefed, he can't really talk about it. So I'm not sure all that. A lot of politics going on there, but it looks like he's finally going to be getting the scoop. And here's Mikey. Good afternoon. Sorry, good morning, everyone. You didn't say good afternoon. I said good afternoon. But good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. And Denise, the chair has silenced Pierre from asking questions. Interesting. Jugmeat is siding with the Liberals in the election. Yeah, for sure. My view is that there's not going to be an election until next year like it was supposed to be in the first place. I don't think we're going to have an early election, although everybody's talking about it and thinking it's going to happen. I just think it's too convenient for the two parties that are in power that it just will never happen until the regular scheduled time. And remember the pension thing, right? So they even moved the regular scheduled election 1 week away so that way MPs could get their pensions if they weren't voted back in. So they're safe with your tax money for the rest of their life, making more than most people make working full time. So Marianne says, it's every podcast I listen to. I swear my internet has been hacked. They have come out to look at it. Okay. Yeah, it could be, right? I wouldn't doubt it. And good morning. Okay. So a couple people saying good morning to others on here. And David, good morning to all. Thanks for being on, Pat. Good morning, everyone. And Mike, good morning to you. Got some city news here in a little bit. Lots going on in the city, obviously. So thanks for being on. And great to have you back at some point on the show just to take some questions and have a conversation sometime soon. We'll have to schedule that. And Denise, Putin left his head off when he heard Trudeau is taking guns from us to send to Ukraine. Lost it. I don't blame him. You know what? I read that. I thought that was like, that wasn't real. That he was taking away Canadian law-abiding citizens' guns and giving them to Ukraine. I thought I was misreading something. But that was true. I can't believe that. That is bizarre. Why doesn't he take it away from criminals and give it to people in Ukraine at least? You know, he's taking away everybody's guns that are abiding by the law, hunting with their guns, just using them for recreational purposes, not harming anybody, but taking them away from them and then giving them to Ukraine and then causing bizarre relations between countries because of it. This has got to stop. This is kind of nonsense to me. Marianne, yesterday where I live, I was skating. It was a skating rink because of the freezing rain, I would think. Craziness. Yeah, it's very slick out there. Everyone, be careful today on the roads with the freezing drizzle. It's not nice whatsoever. And Monique is on here. Grand Rising, heart emoji, exclamation point. Lee's, good morning. A lot of you chiming in this morning. Appreciated. Hope you're all having a great morning today. And yeah, make sure if you are working today, pay attention to your driving and make sure that you're safe. You got your winter tires on and all that stuff. And Rick, good morning, everyone. Thanks for being on, Rick. Yeah, some people just have to call into work if it's too dangerous, right? Like it's better to miss a day's work and be alive and survive than to drive to work and expire. You know, you wouldn't want to do that. Okay, Andrew, good morning to you. Thanks for being on, my friend. Much appreciated, and hope you're having a great morning. Yes, we'll talk about the HSN tragedy. Heart goes out to the family, and thanks for sharing that with us this morning, Belinda. I will share that. Goes along with another HSN story. And Mikey's not a fan of HSN, nor am I. In many ways, sorry. I do appreciate the people, the hard workers there, and whatever. I think the system's broke myself, and if you ever have to go into emergency, I just it's pretty terrible. And Marianne will have that story here in a few seconds, and we'll just catch everyone up to speed with what's happening here. Just trying to get some good morning shout outs there before we continue on. So Debbie, good morning to you. And Josiah, good morning. Beautiful people. Thanks for being on. And Leah, good morning to you as well. Won't be long before he's gone. Be patient, fellow Canadians. Speaking of Justin Trudeau, obviously. And good morning, Jerome. Thanks for being on. So many people this morning and chiming in. I appreciate that. Taking us a while to go through. Very talkative here, so that's great. So keep the comments coming. Much appreciated. And we'll just dive right in with some of the local stories. And speaking of local stories and speaking of HSN, that's probably going to be one of our first stories that we talk about this morning. Other than the weather, winter weather, road conditions result in northeastern Ontario school bus cancellations. Make sure to check in to see if your school buses are canceled. You can just go to Sudbury.news, click on the CBC story there, and you can check out that. First Syrian refugees to settle in Sudbury celebrate end of the Assad regime. As you know, Syria, basically, the whole regime there is gone, and the government is dismantled, and they're looking at how to rebuild a new Syria. Hussein Korkuz, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, and his family in Sudbury are celebrating the end of the Assad regime in Syria. More on that from CBC if you click on the story. So here is the story that we wanted to cover this morning. CBC, Sudbury woman says hospital failed to tell her about her brother's death. A woman from Sudbury says at least 12 hours had passed since her brother had died in hospital before Health Sciences North delivered the news. And Belinda was nice enough to share that with us this morning, and I thought I had it all ready to go, and I do. So CTV covers this, and it's pretty sad, but here you go. Let's just check in here.
Years old to get a degree in addictions and mental health. He was definitely entrenched in our community, and I think he deserved way better.
Vitello says she began looking for her brother November 30th when St. Martin's daughter sent her a message asking if she had heard from her dad. Vitello told her niece to ask the superintendent of his building to let her into his apartment, fearing he was ill or had fallen, and says she discovered he wasn't there. Vitello then instructed her niece to call the hospital, as sometimes he would go there due to diabetes complications. Both women were told over the phone that there was no one there with that name.
My husband happened to go downstairs and listen to our answering machine from our home phone. There was a message there from Dr. Caruso asking for me to call HSN at the emergency department. I then called again. I then got the same clerk on the phone. This time she told me to stop calling there. She had already told me there was nobody there by that name. Explained to her that I received a call from Dr. Caruso. That call came in at 2:30 in the morning. By now it's about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And that I needed her to find out why that call had come in from Dr. Caruso. She then proceeded to tell me that my brother had been at the ER, but he had been released.
Vitello says the family called the Sudbury jail and were in the process of filing a missing persons report with Greater Sudbury Police when at 3 p.m. a different doctor called.
To tell me that my brother had come in by ambulance on Friday evening, complaining of shortness of breath, that he had gone into cardiac arrest, that they had shocked his heart twice unsuccessfully, and that he had passed.
She says the family went to the hospital where they were told the morgue was closed and were given a number to call for patient relations. CTV News reached out to HSN for comment and received this statement. HSN is unable to comment specifically on this situation due to patient privacy. However, we strive to provide high-quality, compassionate care at all times to our patients and families. When we receive complaints, our leadership team conducts a thorough exam of the patient's care and experience to understand what happened, what gaps may exist, and plans are developed to address those gaps to ensure the care we provide is up to the standards we set out as an organization. We deeply apologize to anyone who has a negative experience at HSN and encourage them to contact our patient relations team, who helps to support patients and families through the complaint process. Angela says when she reached out to patient relations, the person she spoke with was extremely apologetic.
She had told me that the breakdown in communication, there was issues where policy and training needed to be addressed. Apparently the clerk who answered the phone at the emergency department did not know how to read the code.
Vitello says she feels it's important for the public to know that this could happen to anyone. She says she hopes by sharing her story that something will change, as she says she feels the healthcare system is incredibly broken. Lindsay Alex, CTV News, Sudbury.
And thanks to Belinda for sharing that with me. And again, anybody who has stories that they feel they want to have shared on the show, just send them. You can send them through Messenger on our Facebook. That's how Belinda shared this story. It was Shout Out Sudbury that had it on their Facebook page. So grateful to them. Grateful to all the different Facebook pages in Sudbury that have different, different focuses and things. And, there's the speed camera page that I've used a lot that has all the information on speed cameras and a lot of funny memes and things like that. Anyway, so if you have something that you want to have shared on the show you think is important for people to know about and us to talk about on the show, please feel free to share it either by Messenger on Facebook. You could email it to us at sudburynews@gmail.com. So much appreciated there. And good morning to Betty from Niagara. What a great place. I love the Niagara region in general. It's just such a special place, not just because of the falls, but just the escarpment, everything to do around that area. So it's just such a wonderful place. And just love it too, because lots to do for the family. You got, you got all the tourist stuff there on the strip, and it's just a lively place. And then you go a little bit further and you got all the vineyards and you got all the wonderful landscapes and just beautiful area down there. So thanks for joining us, Betty. Much appreciated. And Mike says that he could join us on Thursday. And yes, Mike, if you're still on, let's do Thursday. So you heard it here first. Mike Perron, Ward 5 councillor here in Greater Sudbury, will be on the show on Thursday. So if you have any questions for him, make sure to have those ready. If you want to email me the questions ahead of time, you feel free. Again, email me at sudburynews@gmail.com, and we'll have your questions answered by Mike. And if there's some that I think he might need a heads up on, I'll just forward them on to him. So that way he has the questions that he can come on and answer them on Thursday. So thanks, Mike. Looking forward to that. Lots to talk about with the city. There's always stuff going on these days. And there's a story right here from the Sudbury Star talking about the new rezoning or not rezoning for the 4 units per household or whatever per resident in our areas, that we don't need to have rezoning if you want to create 3 more units in your house, kind of thing. So the city is tweaking its housing rules to promote 4-plex development in residential areas on Monday. This is coming from the Sudbury Star. On Monday, the planning committee approved changes put forward by staff that will permit 4-unit dwellings as of right, meaning a project can move forward without a rezoning application, whether it's a new build or conversion of an existing home. The trend has been pushed by the Justin Trudeau government and allies, who see this type of housing as a good way to address the so-called missing middle between big apartment towers and single-family homes. But it has its detractors too. Some residents fear the character of neighborhoods will unfavorably be altered, and some premiers, including Ontario Premier Doug Ford, have fought against this being imposed on municipalities. Ford has said that while he's in favor of 4 units on a single property, he's against the idea of 4-story buildings in neighborhoods that are typically made up of single-family or semi-detached homes. So I'm also of that mindset as well. I don't want to see, just neighborhoods where we're used to just seeing single-family homes or duplexes to have, large apartment complexes and things like that, unless it's planned. There's a new subdivision going in and they have, a mixture of things and whatever. But in existing residential neighborhoods, if people want to not just be, have so many people living in such a small area and be all condensed there. And like I said, 4 families per home. Just, where you live right now, where you're watching this from or listening, think of your house and think of every single person on your street having 4 units per house with 4 families living in each house. Everyone would be leaving in the morning for work, coming back, barbecuing, doing their family things. There'd be 4 trampolines in every backyard. No, I'm just kidding. But again, right, just whatever a family has will now be in that residence. And so there's more traffic on your street. There's just more things to do with infrastructure. Can the infrastructure handle it? Possibly. But even just your quality of life that you move to where you live for that quality of life, it can be changed almost overnight if all your neighbors decided to make 3 extra units in their homes and rent them out, right? So that's what's happening. We are now getting into that. We'll talk to Mike about that on Thursday, how we see this shaping up for our city as we have to deal with the mass immigration policies that we've had over the last few years. Millions of people coming in to the country. I will send you the link, Mike, for sure. And we will see you on Thursday. So looking forward to that. Lots to talk about. And I just want to see if there's ever any new people coming on. I obviously want to acknowledge you. So as we go through the comments here. But yeah, it's just going to change the lay of the land for our residential neighborhoods. But at the same time, how do we deal with the extra population that we have in each of our communities, right? It is what it is. It's happened. Now, you know how many people are going to be claiming refugee status come, at the end of the student visas coming up. I think we're going to be getting a lot. So people that I think the government weren't expecting to go back because they knew this would happen, because they're not stupid. They act stupidly, but they're not stupid. It's either incompetence or it's on purpose. So my belief is it's on purpose for whatever political reasons. But we've had mass immigration for quite a number of years, and we got to deal with it now. So this is one of the ways we are dealing with it. So how will that impact each of our communities? It's already impacted our communities. If you just have to take a look around and see the lay of the land in terms of jobs, just traffic alone. I've noticed how much traffic congestion there is compared to if you go 10 years ago, traffic compared to now, just in Sudbury. It's there's a lot. And I know we have way more people than 167,000 people living in Sudbury. There's no doubt about that. My estimation is we're over, and I have sources that corroborate it, we're over 200,000 people in the city right now. Don't know why. We just can't come out and say it, or there's, maybe it's not advantageous for some reason to say we're over 200,000. I have no idea why, but I do believe we are over 200,000 people in the city. And all you have to do is drive around streets that you used to drive around 10 years ago when the population was similar to what it says on our signs now, and notice the increase in traffic. Okay, so another headline here. This is from the Sudbury Star as well. Sudbury police dog helped bust cocaine dealer from Southern Ontario. O'Neill Millis was given 26 months of pretrial custody credit and is now a free man. But that's after he was found out from the police dog. They're so good. Usually German Shepherds, right? And we have a German Shepherd. And their sense of smell is just amazing. So, okay. So here from Sudbury.com, lower immigration will slow economic growth, but won't cause recession, says a report. Speaking of immigration, right? A new report suggests the federal government's rapidly reduced immigration targets will significantly slow economic growth, but not enough to trigger a recession. For more on that, you can click on the story on Sudbury.com. I don't necessarily agree just with the headline itself and the little blurb of the story on here. This is a very deep, layered phenomenon that we have going on in Canada with this rapid immigration that we've had for several years. It has many implications in many areas. And it's just not simple. But haven't read the report, want to read the report, it's right there on Sudbury.com. And it is definitely an issue. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out a new way to go through the stories as well for this segment on our show. The reason Facebook was so handy and now we're not able to do this anymore, share our news that we want to have stories on the show. So all I would do is the night before, go on Facebook, check out all of our local news Facebook pages and which stories we were going to talk about. I'd share them on Sudbury News Facebook page. And then I would use this Facebook page and I would go through and those are the stories I'd talk about. I wouldn't have to scroll anywhere. I wouldn't have to go finding stories. They were perfectly there, all in order, go through them, very efficient. But since then, now we have our news aggregator, but there's still too much news there to talk about on the show, and I'm just kind of scrolling through, and it would be much better if I just had just the stories we were going to talk about back to back to back, right? But we'll get there. We have to figure out solutions. There's problems, there's solutions. Life goes on. So the Sudbury YMCA launches a new partnership. They've announced with Greater Sudbury has announced a new partnership with the Sudbury Wolves Sports and Entertainment Group and the YMCA. And that's, I believe, training facility will be used for the Sudbury 5, where they can use the gym there. And looks like a good partnership, obviously. Okay, so Laurentian University, yeah, I saw this on Sudbury.com this morning. Laurentian University is going to be selling the Bell Mansion. So if you want to buy the Bell Mansion, it'll be up for sale a little more than a year after its closure due to repair issues. Laurentian University said it will be selling the historic Bell Mansion. The university's Board of Governors passed a motion regarding the future of the building at 251 John Street, which has been the home of the Art Gallery of Sudbury for many years. In the closed session of their October 18th meeting, the minutes of the meeting were just made public as part of the package for the December 13th Board of Governors meeting. According to the minutes at the meeting, Laurentian Vice President, Finance and Administration, Sylvie Lafontaine, told those in attendance that following a thorough assessment of the work to be remediated at this university-owned property since 2023 closure, and the cost associated with remediation work, the sale of the property was being recommended as the most prudent and fiscally responsible option. The motion passed by the Board of Governors was to approve the initiation of the process to dispose of the Bell Mansion. So yeah, after insolvency, Laurentian University, has to pay back creditors, and it has properties that it owns, and so it has to do something with that. And creditors apparently didn't get paid very much at all, if anything, from all that. And that debacle just seems to continue on in the news and will for some time. It's a huge black mark on Sudbury and on Laurentian and on the university system in general. So it just keeps continuing. Now, with the new event center, we'll talk to Mike about the new event center and things surrounding that on Thursday. 2 companies pre-qualified to manage the downtown event center. I'll ask him why we need these particular types of companies to manage. Why couldn't it be someone local, as one of 2 U.S. headquartered companies expected to manage Sudbury's proposed downtown arena event center when it opens in May of 2028. Last week, California-based ASM Global and Colorado-based Global Spectrum Facility Management pre-qualified to manage the facility, slated to take shape in downtown Sudbury. This means both companies have passed all technical requirements, with subsequent requests for proposal process expected to open within days to help the city evaluate both companies to determine which one should manage the facility. One of these 2 venue operators is expected to be selected by February. ASM Global previously came up when they were pre-qualified to manage the Kingsway Entertainment District. You remember that? A precursor to the current downtown project, which City Council canceled 2 years ago. The current 5,800-seat downtown event center is virtually identical to the Kingsway proposal. So that, these are 2 huge American companies. Looks like they manage multiple facilities like this. I guess that's one of the reasons why we would have them, is because that's what they do. They probably do it well, and they charge the city a certain amount of money to manage it, and city can wipe their hands of it It's managed. They don't have to deal with employees and everything to do with the management of these buildings. It's like getting a property manager. And Capriol news this morning. So the Capriol Public Library, Citizen Service Center, and community organizations operating at the old Town Hall building on 9 Morin Street could shift to the Capriol Millennium Resource Center. That is pending the results of next year's feasibility study and public consultations, which are expected to produce a report for the city's council consideration by the end of 2025. So the plan's seed was planted during last week's budget meetings. Ward 7 Councillor Natalie Labby introduced a successful resolution requesting the $40,000 feasibility study. Meanwhile, the city would pause millions of dollars worth of approved accessibility work on the Capriol Public Library and Citizen Service Center, including $2.4 million elevator to the top floor. We're not taking away service, but making it more efficient and a one-stop shop for a lot of different types of services that the community at large will use, she told her colleagues earlier this week of the proposal. So it makes sense. The Millennium Center, it's all one floor. Don't need a elevator as far as I know. You just move them in there. The cost will be way less than probably just the elevator alone for the upgrades to the building that they're currently in. So again, that makes sense to me. Don't know all the details on it, but at face value, seems to be a sound decision. So now, speaking of sound decisions, the government has given us a GST holiday. And, many people excited about the idea of it, and that's about where it ends. The idea of it is exciting. However, rolling it out isn't as exciting. But anyways, Brian shared the link to the official government page that explains the GST holiday with everything that goes along with it. So we're just going through it here on the show. Here you can see it in the top right corner if you're watching. If you're listening, the GST HST break, the Government of Canada has announced a proposed measure to provide GST relief on certain items from December 14th to February 15th. So on this page, you'll find which items qualify for the break, how to get the tax break as a shopper, and what to do as a business that charges the HST or GST. Which types of items qualify? Well, there's food. So the details and restrictions are there. And they're being updated. You can tell they're just updating them all the way to the point right up until December 14th. They'll probably continue to be updating these things, making it a nightmare for small business owners who are trying to program their point of sale machines, and bookkeepers that have to keep track of all this. They're trying to, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's like a circus, and we're circus animals. And I think everyone should just revolt and say, keep your $4.51 savings that we're going to have during the GST holiday for the average Canadian. That's all we're going to apparently save. The average will be $4.51. Mind you, depends who you are. If you just had twins, as Zach, who's on the show, and his lovely wife had just had twin boys. So just an announcement for anyone who's familiar with Zach, who is part of the starting of Sudbury News Talk. Congratulations to him. Well, diapers are one of the things that will be GST exempt over the 2-month period. So they'll stock up on diapers, I'm sure. And that's great for people who have small children in diapers. Beverages, so all the beverages, including alcohol, that'll be tax relief for you for those 2 months. Restaurant, catering, and other food or drink establishments. So you click on that. You can see all of the items: children's clothing and footwear, children's diapers, children's car seats, children's toys, jigsaw puzzles. It has its own section for jigsaw puzzles will be exempt from the GST. Video game consoles, controllers, and physical video games. Physical video games. How many physical video games are there anymore? Almost zero. Right? They're all like subscription based and online stuff. Physical books, printed newspapers, and Christmas and similar decorative trees. This you can tell is a government website because they say Christmas and similar decorative trees. That's how our government speaks. They can't just say Christmas trees. Christmas or similar decorative trees. Anyways, so there you go. There's all that for you and more. How to get this tax break as a shopper. As a shopper, you will automatically receive this tax break on the qualifying things you buy. There will be no GST or HST charged on them when you make your purchase, unless the small business owner was not able to make the changes on their point of sale machine, because it's not that easy. Like you think, these point of sale companies and bookkeeping companies with the QuickBooks and the Simply Accountings and all these, they pretty much figure sales tax is a thing that stays, and so they put it as part of their program. It's in there. It stays usually. What are the two things you can expect in life? Taxes and death, right? So they just program it, taxes. They don't think, oh, wait a minute, the government's probably going to, and they rarely change. They go up, but it's very rare that they do these taxes. They're in place for a while, so they just put them in their programs. They don't think to themselves, oh, they're just going to take it away for a couple months, ever. Oh, and only on certain things. So this just makes a bookkeeping nightmare, accounting nightmare for bookkeepers, accountants, and small business owners. The large corporations, they have the people in place to be able to do this, and they will do it. It's another thing that they have to do, but they'll be able to do it. And then come tax time, you watch the debacle it'll be at tax time when you send in all your receipts that should have had HST and GST removed but didn't, and then try and get that done. Anyways, craziness. That's a little update on that. That's all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us. We had quite a few people on today. No glitching as far as I could see on our Facebook, so that's a positive. And thanks for all your comments. I think we've had the most comments we've ever had on a show today. It was a great show. Thanks for sharing news stories with me. Thanks everyone for the conversation and being included and part of this, sharing your views on the news, as that's what we do here. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. And we'll be back same time, same place, on the same platforms, God willing, tomorrow at 7:30. So we'll see you then. Make sure to continue to stay aware, take care, like and share, and stay safe and dry and warm. See you tomorrow. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.